everyone, welcome to Our Philippine Life. I'm Todd, and Hazel's at work. Have you ever had one of those days where, like, nothing you say comes out right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I know I have. And it's not out of any malice. I mean, just talking like you expect to be understood. But somehow, somebody somewhere gets it all messed up. And I've been having a few days like that lately. You may have watched the last vlog about the roosters pooped on our house.
Ew.
Well, I think most of you, especially if you're in the States, most of you got what I was talking about. It meant it was an analogy that things had been spoiled and I wasn't going to push through with that location. It's kind of like saying someone spit in your soup. You know, it means that somebody or something has changed the situation and now it's unacceptable. You just can't take it like that anymore. You have to walk away from it. Same with pooping on something. It renders it unacceptable. Can't use it. Well, most of you got that, and I got some really nice comments from you all, and I appreciate every one of you. But I actually had a couple of people who took it the wrong way. In fact, I actually had a troll that said some really mean things on my channel, and I deleted the comment and blocked him. But basically, there were a couple of people who took what I said literally. They thought I was saying that there are roosters perched on the rooftops of Summit Point, pooping on the houses. And they took great offense to that. And I tried to explain, no, it's a figure of speech. I didn't mean it literally. And I don't even know why they got so offended over roosters pooping on the rooftops of Summit Point if that was actually happening, which I know it's not. I never meant to imply that. However, they took to Facebook and said some really mean things about me and Hazel. So, delete, block, unfriend, whatever. It's history now. But I really want to raise your awareness when you're talking to people from other cultures that they don't get some of the analogies or parallels when you talk about things. Don't assume that they understand what you're talking about, because unless you're very specific and very polite, they actually might misinterpret you and assume you're insulting them somehow. And this can really happen, I think, with almost any culture. The troll that I deleted and blocked had a witty comeback that I still don't understand. He said, if you don't want a dog, you say you have a rabbit. I have no idea what that means. But anyways, I don't have a dog. I don't have a rabbit. Don't want either one. And I don't want a rooster either. And like I said last time, I don't mind if there's a rooster or two off in the distance somewhere. But from Google Earth, I could see the lot that we were thinking about buying. And there's a perimeter wall, and just over the wall, there's a farm. So I asked the sales agent, the representative of Summit Point, what is this? And she said, it is outside of Summit Point. It's not part of Summit Point property. It's privately owned property leased to a businessman who is caring for roosters. Sounds like a rooster farm to me, right? And that's what I said. And I said that information, if that's accurate, which I assume it is, she ought to know, it's outside her development. She says it's a rooster farm. I believe her. I mean, I have no reason to doubt her. But these other people got very offended. They said, "Oh, I've been there. I see no roosters." Well, of course, there are no roosters running around Summit Point. I never meant to imply that there were. Nor did I mean to imply that there are roosters perched on the rooftop pooping on the houses. I never said that. But that's how they took it. And because I didn't take their word for it, I believed what the sales agent said as opposed to their statement that they never saw roosters. Well, both statements can be true. I believed them when they said they never saw any roosters. They also said there's a rooster farm back at the front gate, and I know that's true. I'm not disputing that. But they're saying there are no roosters inside Summit Point, and I never said there were. The sales agent said the farm I'm looking at on Google Earth is a rooster farm. And that is like spitting in the soup. It's like pooping on our house plans. You know, we just said, no, we're not going to do that. And so we backed out. And, you know, it can also happen between friends. I'm good friends with Chris Wren, a Brit in the Philippines. And he and I were having a chat yesterday, talking about his desire to buy a used car so his pregnant wife and he can drive around in relative safety inside a car rather than perched on top of a motorcycle, which vibrates like crazy, and I don't know what that would do to a pregnant woman's unborn child, but I agreed with him that it was a smart thing to go ahead and get a used car. And I said, but don't hold out for like a real expensive deluxe model. You know, just get what you need. Get the basics, just something that is serviceable, something that works. And he said he's trying to do that, but all the cars he has looked at thus far are sheds. And I said, sheds? You mean like a small barn in the backyard? Shed? And he explained, no, in the UK, a shed is a junker, a piece of junk automobile that is an old, wore-out wreck, needs to be hauled away as garbage. I didn't know that. I thought he was talking about a shed. And I'm thinking, car, shed? I didn't get the connection. So each culture, each nationality has their own colloquialisms, their own little figures of speech, their own expressions. I didn't get mad at him about the sheds. You know, I just didn't understand the reference. Like the dog and the rabbit, I don't get that either. And apparently, some people did not get my little gist about the rooster pooping on our house. Ew. Meaning that we lost interest in buying a lot at that location because of the report, which we have no reason to doubt, that there's a rooster farm right over the wall. And you may not even, I know you won't be able to see them from Summit Point, you may not even be able to hear them unless it's in the pre-dawn hours, which is when roosters are most noisy. In the heat of the day, if you're there at lunchtime, they're inside their rooster tents, you know, doing whatever roosters do in the shade. But at the pre-dawn hours, that's when they go crazy and start the crowing contest. I just don't want to be around for that. That's all.
That will hurt my ears.
Yeah, it would hurt my ears too. So those plans are kaput. And, you know, maybe someday, somewhere, we will buy a lot. And if we do, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, not only are we not buying that lot, but I am also going to be very careful with how I talk to people. some people take great offense at the things I say. And I don't mean any malice to anyone. I'm just talking. I open my mouth, you never know what's going to come out. But none of it is meant to be rude or disrespectful. I'm kind of a casual guy, and I'm very frank. And so if I'm trying to communicate a message to you, well, I just tell you what I'm saying. Whatever comes out, that's what I mean usually most of the time. So if I'm misunderstood, I don't even know it unless someone comes to me and says, I don't understand what you just said. And especially when you're talking cross-culturally, like Kanoes and Filipinos, you don't know how they're going to take it. And something that means one thing in American language might mean a whole nother kind of thing in the Philippine language. Or it may have some cultural implications, or it may just be perceived as rude or mean or something. So the word of caution I have for you is, if you're dealing with friends or family or business people or anybody cross-culturally, make sure you are explicit as to what you mean, and make sure that they understand what you mean. Because just because you know what you're saying doesn't mean they know what you're saying.
Even if they know that language.
Yes, even though they speak English and I speak English and they speak English, that doesn't mean they're going to get the gist of colloquialisms, figures of speech. Things that are commonly understood in one country may not be commonly understood in the other. So, it is what it is. Bridges burned and what have you. You can't go back and unring the bell. But going forward, just keep in mind, words have meanings, but not necessarily the same meaning in every culture. And in a completely unrelated topic, I have now been 1 week clean of Diet Coke. And that's hard to do, I want you to know. I was consuming anywhere from 6 to 12 cans of Diet Coke every day for like 20 years. I don't know if that does anything to your innards or not. If it does, mine are probably shot. I did read, though, just recently that a new 10-year study verified that aspartame, which is what makes Diet Coke sweet, and many other things as well, artificial sweeteners in general, affect the brain, and it can lead to Alzheimer's and memory loss. And I have to admit, my memory is not as sharp as it used to be. And about 18 months ago, my mother died of Alzheimer's. So with that information in hand, I decided to quit.
Try the truth.
Yes. Temporarily, I'm drinking LaCroix orange flavored soft drink, no artificial sweeteners.
Kind of looks like Coke.
And actually, it looks like water, but it comes in a tin can like a Coke.
Yeah.
But it's you know how it is. No sweeteners. What do you expect?
But the top is just the same.
Yeah, it has a pop top, just the same. But as an alternative, I am learning to brew Lipton tea and put just a little bit of white cane sugar in it. Not enough to give me diabetes or anything, but just enough to sweeten it up a little. And so now I'm chugging Lipton tea.
I don't drink that.
She doesn't drink that, but I do, and in massive quantities. Unfortunately, it doesn't have enough caffeine to really, affect me. And I want you to know, I went through like 3 or 4 days of caffeine withdrawals with major pounding headaches and walking around like I'm half asleep, unable to wake up. But a week later, I actually feel pretty good. And I don't know if I can reverse whatever brain damage was done to me, but hopefully my memory will improve. I'm trying really, really hard to resist temptation. I even went to see a movie yesterday with my family. I took my wife and daughter to see Beauty and the Beast because we had 3 free movie passes, so why not?
It's a little scary.
It was a little scary, but I resisted temptation. I did not have Coke with my popcorn, and that's the first time in like ever that I was able to do that.
Kind of like a curse.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like a curse. You're right. And I broke the curse. And now I'm free. Yay! So, I hope you're free from all your addictions. And I hope you're very careful and mindful when you're speaking cross-culturally, because you know what you intend to come out, but you don't know exactly how it's understood on the other end.
I never do that.
You never do that, but someday you will be. In a couple of years, you're going to be over there jibber-jabbering away. You're a little chatterbox. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching. We've had like 6 new subscribers in the past couple of weeks. I want to say welcome aboard to each and every one of you. You are welcomed and appreciated.
I have 10 subscribers.
You have 12 on your channel.
I know.
Yeah. So, thanks for watching Our Philippine Life. Bye-bye.
Bye!